What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another brand new video. I know it's been a while, mainly because I've been so busy working and stuff like that, but I managed to have a day off and finally sit down because it's about time we do another worst to best. This time we're doing Slipknot. Absolute pioneers of new metal. They've been one of my favorite bands. I love their albums, and I feel like it's about time we do a little bit of a ranking video of the studio albums together. And spoiler alert, not all these albums are bad. And no, we're not including Made to Feed a Killer Pete because that's more so of a demo. But with that being said, this is just my honest opinion. And we're going to jump right into the ranking. So starting it off with number 7, Point 5, The Great Chapter, 2014. Now this is the first album without Paul Gray and Joey Jordison. Rest in peace. Pretty much this album is kind of boring, to be that honest with you. Most of the songs on here are pretty much uninspiring, whether it's just lack of inspiration or pretty much moving away of what the true fans really want. But I will say there are a couple highlights that I find quite interesting. AOV, it's catchy, it's very fast. I really love the chorus on that Corey does. And then we get to The Devil and I, which is pretty much the best song of the album as well, the negative one. Very aggressive, and it also kind of brings back those Iowa moments that we'll talk about later. But me personally, I find a lot of the other songs just pretty much meh. Leech, Custer, I mean, those songs are okay, but honestly, if Rain Is All You Want, it's pretty much absolute garbage. And that one interlude is just pretty much I don't really thrive for. I mean, it's kind of like a hit or lose situation, whether it sounds like Stone Sour or not. But speaking of Stone Sour, Kill a Cop is literally straight up Stone Sour, and I tend to skip that song overall, and it's garbage. Even the intro, what is it, XIX? But yeah, not really my favorite go-to Slipknot album. I mean, but I will take those 3 songs with me. Best tracks on here, AOV, The Devil and I, and the negative one. Volume 3, The Subliminal Verses. I managed to get this on CD. They're kind of moving toward more to the radio stuff. Yeah, they've been on radio a couple times with their first 2 albums. Well, most of the songs in particular. I don't really revisit this album a ton. And honestly, not really Slipknot's best album. I will say Duality is a really big banger. I think it's one of the best songs on here. Pulse of the Maggots is really, really catchy. I really love the bridge and the riffs on there. Even with the Corey screams on that song, it's just, it's like hard hitting. It's very catchy and chef's kiss. And even on Before I Forget, I love the chorus on there as well. Yeah, you can hear hints of Stone Sour here and there. Am I mad at it? Not really. For Vermilion, I prefer part 2 over 1, unfortunately. I feel like it's much more beautiful and much kind of gives off more of that emotion. Yeah, I do understand, but everything else, what was it? Circle, Welcome, The Virus of Life, Nameless, 3-0. I don't like those songs. Danger Keep Away is pretty much a decent outro, I will say. I mean, I really kind of like that. The after story, it's like calm. Like you could say about it, but does it exist? Decent song. Not one of my favorite Slipknot songs. But overall, this album is kind of like a hit or miss situation. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just too tired. I mean, not my favorite Slipknot album, like I said, but there are some great bangers on here. I mean, production on here is great. Nothing much to say, to be honest. Best tracks on here: Duality, Pulse of the Maggots, Before I Forget, and Vermilion Part 2. The End So Far, 2022. This is their most recent album. And when I heard the Chapeltown Reg, I was kind of in awe because now for every Slipknot song on a typical Slipknot album, you're probably gonna get a mixture of harsh vocals and clean singing, which I feel like that's kind of like a common theme between those type of bands that you might witness. But yeah, the Chapeltown Reg, I was kind of meh. I mean, I didn't find that song too interesting. But when I heard the Dying song in particular, I was kind of more excited to hear what the rest of the album had to offer for me. And when I heard Yen, I'm like, okay, what is going on? This is pretty much like Radiohead type vibes. And speaking of Radiohead, the first song on here, Adderall, it's just pure Radiohead, like calling back to OK Computer vibes. kind of reminds me of that suave sample. I don't know. In the middle half of the album, we got some bangers on here. Hive Mind, I love like the harmonies, I love the chorus, I even love the blast beat that Jay Whitebrick does, and unfortunately this is the last album with Craig and Jay. Hive Mind, I love the chorus on there, I love the hooks are catchy, the riffs are phenomenal. Even Warranty has some pretty sick riffs on there, and the hooks are just phenomenal. And honestly, I think Warranty, to me in particular, might be one of the best songs on here. I'm definitely going to be playing that song a ton today. And then we get to some interesting highlights that I found on the album. Aesthetic, I really like the how the chorus is just like dun 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 dun. Dun. I forget how the song goes, but overall, like, still a good song. Like the clean singing on that song, pretty good. But then we get to songs like Hell, which is pronounced H377, kind of throwing back to almost like a Iowa or self-titled type vibe, which I kind of really like. And then we got to some other songs. Medicine of the Dead is pretty much forgettable. Decide is whatever. Finale is okay. I will give him that. But yeah, honestly, not too bad. And I kind of prefer this album over the last two albums that I kind of talked about. And yeah, best tracks on here: The Dying Song, Hive Mind, Warranty, Ascetic, and Hell. We Are Not Your Kind, 2019. When I heard Unsainted and All Out Life, I was hooked, baby. Because it was around the time when I was just getting into like true metal. I was really excited, and when the album dropped, I was impressed. I mean, I was digging Unsatan, and I was also digging Solway Firth as well. Like, those songs really stuck out to me the most. And also songs like Nero Forte, which is easily one of the best songs of the album. The hooks are amazing, the rhythm's catchy, the bridge is amazing, the chorus is phenomenal. I didn't know Corey can sing that high. Production on here is great as well. Critical Darling is kind of like the same thing, but almost like a step down, or I should say like an alternative type of Nero Forte song. I don't know. And the interludes kind of really do nothing for me. Spiders is pretty much an interesting song. It's kind of like a mixture of like, I don't know, mixture of Skinny Puppy, Soundgarden, or maybe a little bit of hints of Stone Sour here and there. And then we get to Orphan, which is a banger. My Pain, Not Long for This World, Red Flag, Liar's Funeral is okay. Not really my favorites. Still listenable if you want to check them out. But yeah, mixers are really good on all the songs. Production on here is great. Hooks, it's like kind of like hard to really explain negatively. Not all of these albums are bad, to be that honest with you. We Are Not Your Kind. Best tracks on here: Unsatan, Nero Forte, Critical Darling, Spiders, Orphan, Solway Firth. All Hope Is Gone, 2008. Everyone knows Psychosocial. It's like one of my favorite Slipknot songs, and also the first song that I heard from them in 2018 when my grandpa passed away, and I needed something just to kind of cheer me up. And that's when I discovered Slipknot, and this was the first time I heard from them. Yeah, this album really changed my life, but not really my favorite though. But like still like my top three. I mean, when I heard the album like in full, I was really impressed. We got like bangers on here. Geometria, The Killing Name is like easily probably one of Joey's best drumming performances. Kind of a shocker that I said that, but don't worry, we got some other songs that Joey does well on. Sulfur is also a pretty good deeper cut on here as well. Dead Memories. Yeah, it's kind of like falling into like the Stone Sour, and it's starting to kind of move toward like the alternative side of things of the genre. Vendetta is also probably one of my favorite diva cuts on this album, as well as Butcher Hook. Snuff is, rest in peace, Paul. Rest in peace, Joey. But I will say, This Cold Black and Where's the Lies Continue and the title track is meh. I mean, it's 50-50 for me. Production on here is great, and I'm just in awe. Like, oh god. Best tracks on here: Geometria, Sulfur, Psychosocial, Dead Memories, Vendetta, Butcher's Hook, and Snuff. If you made it this far, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, let me know in the comments on what bands to review next. And let's get on to the top two. Iowa, 2001. A lot of people say this is their magnus opus. Pretty much, this is kind of like number two, number one tied together. Arguably, this is probably one of their most darkest albums, and also one of the most heaviest. People Equal Shit, Disaster Piece. It just makes you want to punch a wall or something. I don't know. I could easily just like destroy this whole bedroom if I had to. Still, another fantastic album with some excellent bangers. And can we take a moment to appreciate the song Left Behind that managed to get on the radio? I mean, that's like an accomplishment. Everything Ends, The Shape, I Am Hated, and Skin Ticket are easily one of the best deeper cuts that Slipknot ever puts out. My Plague, I will say, is okay. The final song on here, I Was just so dark. And the middle half of the song, before things get chaotic at the end, it's just, are you serious right now, bro? But yeah, I will say the Heretic Anthem is Joey's best drumming performances. Best vocals from Corey. And oh yeah, don't forget about Gently. I mean, that song is okay, but not really my go-to song. Best tracks on here, People Equal Shit, Disaster Piece, Everything Ends, Heretic Anthem, Left Behind, The Shape, I Am Hated, and Skin Ticket. Number 1, Slipknot, 1991. I love this album to death. Listened to this album back in high school so many times in full. The song Sick on here, fuck man, it's just so good. And still like some great bangers on here like Eyeless, Wait and Bleed, Surfacing, Spit It Out. Hand is the first 5 tracks on this album. And then we have songs that kind of fall into like the dark atmosphere, songs like Tattered Torn, A Frail Nail Nursery, Prosthetics, and also Scissors. Yeah, they're like dark, but also slow. Even with like the songs that don't appear on this version that I have, there's no, get this, there's no purity on here. It's just really depending on what version you're pretty much getting. And then we got to some of my favorite stuff on here as well. Liberate, No Life, Only One, Diluted. It's just banger after banger after banger. Every song is a banger. They used analog equipment for this album, and this is easily Slipknot's magnum opus. Yeah, pretty much Iowa and this album pretty much are tied together, but I prefer this album slightly more, and that's why this album here is a 10 out of 10. Every song slaps. And that's all I can say. Let me know what bands I should review next, and let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Sorry if I've not been uploading much, but I'm back, baby. Cheers.